We bowed before your throne, Almighty gods of the bald-headed widows. We have come again, not empty-handed, but with our hearts full of hunger for more wealth, more blessings, more power. Our shaved heads shine under the sun as a mark of our vow, a vow sealed in blood and silence. In the glittering heart of Abuja, where life is fast and survival is a daily struggle, there exists a secret circle of women feared and admired by all, the bald-headed widows. Not just wealthy, they were unimaginably rich. These women did not just own businesses, they owned empires, oil companies, real estate chains, luxury hotels, and private islands no one dared step foot on without permission. They lived in opulence. They drove black SUVs with bulletproof glass. Their wrists glittered with diamond-encrusted watches. When they walked into an event, even the most powerful men in Nigeria turned to stare. They didn't speak much, but their silence screamed authority. People whispered stories about them. Stories of how their riches began only after their husbands died, and their heads went bald. But nobody had the courage to ask. Was it a trend? Was it grief? Was it madness? No. It was a secret. A dangerous one. A vow older than any of them. A vow wrapped in mystery, pain, and dark power in a small village far away from the towering skyscrapers of Abuja. Widows were the forgotten souls of the community. They were treated as shadows, unseen and unheard, stripped of dignity and hope. Their husbands' deaths marked them not just as women alone but as prey to cruel men who saw their vulnerability as opportunity. They had no power, no voice, and no protection. One of those widows, a woman named Edeora, refused to accept this fate. She had lost her husband, yes, but she would not lose her dignity or her life to the whims of cruel men. One day, desperate and furious at the injustice, Edeora decided to seek help from an old, mysterious priest who lived deep in the forest. The villagers whispered about the old priest, the man who held ancient knowledge and powers not meant for the faint-hearted. Edeora traveled miles, crossing rivers and thick forest until she finally found the priest's hut, covered in vines and symbols no one dared decipher. She told him her story, the abuse, the poverty, the helplessness of widows in the village. The priest listened quietly, then nodded solemnly. Your pain is deep, but the solution comes with a price, he said. A price that will change you forever. Edeora's heart raced. She was willing to pay any price. The priest gave her a potion to rub on her head and warned her, from this day on, no hair will ever grow on your head again. You will become powerful beyond imagination, rich beyond dreams. Men will bow before you, and you will never want. But there is one sacred vow, you must never lie with a man again. If you break this vow, everything you gain will vanish. Your wealth, your power, your legacy, all will be lost. Edeora agreed, and with trembling hands, rubbed the potion on her scalp. The next morning, her hair fell out in clumps, leaving her head shining and bald. Word spread, and soon, other widows who suffered like her came seeking the priest's blessing. One by one, they took the vow, became bald, and their fortunes grew beyond belief. The widows, now united by the priest's secret vow, became a force no one could ignore. Their bald heads gleamed like polished stones, a visible sign of their power and shared destiny. It was not just a physical transformation, it was a spiritual bond, an unbreakable pact that tied their fortunes and fates together. In Abuja, the widows built their empire with iron wheels and fierce determination. Factories rose where empty fields once lay. Hotels with sparkling facades welcomed the elite. Private islands were bought and developed into luxurious retreats only the richest could dream of visiting. Whenever a major event took place, weddings of the rich, political ceremonies, or high society galas, the bald-headed widows appeared like queens. Their presence was commanding. Men whispered their names with awe and fear. Women envied them, and children stared with a mix of wonder and weariness. Yet, behind the wealth and glamour was a secret no one dared speak aloud: they never grew their hair again. Not one of them. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't illness. It was the vow, their price for power. Among them, one woman stood out like a diamond in the sun, Madame Kara. She was the embodiment of beauty and strength. Even among the bald-headed widows, her charm was something else. Her smooth, shining scalp was as captivating as any crowning glory of hair. Madame Kara was the life of every party. Wherever she went, heads turned, not just because of her wealth or her dazzling designer gowns, but because of the electric energy she carried. Her laugh was infectious, her smile unforgettable. But beneath her polished surface, Kara held a secret desire burning like fire inside her. She longed for her hair back. She missed the softness of curls brushing her face. She craved the weight of braids swinging down her back. She dreamed of running her fingers through thick strands again, feeling truly alive. For years, Kara kept her secret locked away, afraid to break the vow. But one evening, far from Abuja's glare, she found herself alone at an extravagant party in Banana Island, where hair was not just accepted but celebrated. Guests wore braids, curls, and flowing wigs that glittered under the lights like waterfalls of silk. For the first time, Madame Kara felt a flicker of freedom. The urge to have her hair back, to reclaim what was lost, grew stronger by the minute. Madame Kara had always been the most daring of the widows. She loved the thrill of the night,